Keeping your RV or camper powered during a trip is very important. There are typically two types of RVs, a 30 amp RV and a 50 amp RV. It's always hard to tell what kind of power supply will be provided at your campsite and if your RV will be able to plug in there. It also might be hard to get the proper outlets to use and generators. We have your back for any situation. There are many AC Works RV or generator adapters to provide any type of solution you may need. First, before we dive into some examples of these adapters, let's quick review the NEMA configurations and the most popular configurations when it comes to RVs. If you have a 30 amp RV, your RV cable will most likely have this plug, a NEMA TT30P male plug. Right off the bat, we have some new letters associated with our NEMA configurations. TT stands for travel trailer. What this basically means is that this plug is almost exclusively used with 30 amp RVs, trailers, and campers. The rest of the configuration follows the same rules we talked about in the previous video. If you have a 50 amp RV, your cable will most likely have this plug, a NEMA 1450P. The only new part here is the 14. What this means is the plug has two hot wires, each with 125 volts. On a NEMA chart, this is shown as 125/250 volts. There's also one neutral and one ground wire. Not only is this plug used for 50 amp RVs, but it is also commonly used for electric cooking ranges, electrical vehicle charging, and temporary power transfer switches. When it comes to campsites, they usually have a power pedestal for your RV. They may have 30 amp or 50 amp, or sometimes even both. If you want to be covered on both bases, there's a couple different adapters you could use. Let's say you have a 50 amp RV, but the campsite only provides 30 amp service. You would need to convert your NEMA 1450P male plug to a NEMA TT30P male plug. The AC Works adapter to use in this situation would be RV-TT1450-012 or RV-TT1450-S. I know, even more numbers and letters to know. But knowing the NEMA configurations and what you need to adapt can help break down our part numbers. Let's break it down. RV obviously stands for RV or recreational vehicle. TT is the plug side. For this example, it's a travel trailer plug. 1450 is the receptacle side, being NEMA 1450R female connector. To recap, the part numbers are usually put together like so. What you are adapting for: male plug side, female connector side. If you needed to adapt the opposite way, 30 amp to 50 amp, the adapter would be RV1450TT. It's pretty simple. One thing to note when you are adapting: if you are adapting a 50 amp plug to a 30 amp plug, you will still only get 30 amp service. Yes, your RV does run up to 50 amp service, but the plug you are using to connect to a 30 amp pedestal will only allow 30 amps of current. If you are adapting from a 30 amp plug to a 50 amp plug, you will still only get 30 amp service. This is because the RV with a 30 amp plug only runs up to a 30 amp service. There are many more RV adapters to choose from. We have flexible adapters to give you a little extra length or to help with hard to reach spaces, or locking adapters if you want to adapt right at the RV inlet down to a custom cable. We can even help you adapt down to 15 amp service with a household plug. You can find all these adapters and more in our RV/generator collection and in the description below. I hope this helps you stay powered for your next adventure. At AC Works, we have every power adapter and cord for your power solution needs. Since you made it to the end, check out our special discount code in the description below and see what you can save on what you currently need. If you like this kind of content, stay connected by following us on our social media platforms, and we hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.